A brand new TaylorMade Stealth is going to set you back around £470. Is this good value for money, or should you go for something a little bit older and go for a TaylorMade M6 at around £200? That's what we're going to test in this video. We're going to test it out here on the golf course where it counts, and also in the simulator room for numbers. We're going to see the differences in ball speed, the differences in spin rate, and the differences in distance. Stay tuned, guys. Let's see if you should be spending £470 on a brand new 2022 TaylorMade Stealth, or save yourself some money, go have some lessons and go and play some more golf with a £200 TaylorMade M6. We'll kick things off here at Woolley Park Golf Club with the TaylorMade Stealth. This is a club that I have been using quite a long time now. I've been using it most of the year. This is a standard Stealth off the rack. It isn't my fitted TaylorMade Stealth Plus. The Stealth Plus will run you a little bit more, over £500. We've matched the shafts up as well as we can. We've got them both in 9 degrees of loft. Let's see just how much more. How much more would you want? Comment below. For that amount of money, would you want an extra 10 yards, an extra 15 yards? Would you take an extra 5 yards? Right, up the right hand side, nice little draw. That's the shape we want today. Just like that, actually. You know, there's something in this standard club for me because I've hit quite a few good shots today with it. Just run into the left hand rough. Let's see how the TaylorMade M6 does cope. Now for me, I actually think this is a better looking all-round club than the Stealth. You have the standard black face, you have that lovely carbon crown, and it's full of technology, which we're going to get into in a second. Right, same shot. Can't wait to get these in the studio and see the differences. Similar shot, just up that left side. Let's get down there and see what the differences are. So as you saw there, two very similar shots. I think these shots have just taken slightly different bounces. We're both in the left hand with probably a few yards in it. Let's see which one's which. So this one had a logo on it. They're both Titleist golf balls, Titleist Pro V1s. This is the logo golf ball, so this is the TaylorMade M6, which makes this one the Stealth. There's not a lot in it, probably 5 or 6 yards, again depending on the bounce, and we are into the wind today. Let's go up on that next tee and let's see what the difference is in versatility. Let's see if we can play a nice fade with these. I usually play a draw, but if I find a club that I can play a fade with, that may well just be worth the money. Now, a lot of you may well be thinking, James, why are you doing this comparison? Surely you do the TaylorMade Stealth against the TaylorMade Sim 2 because that is the previous model. You see, for me, I don't think people are upgrading their drivers every year. I think they're waiting a few years and seeing if they can see again. So the TaylorMade M6 is a few years old now. We've had the Sim and the Sim 2 between them. The TaylorMade Stealth obviously being the most current model. That was very difficult to get off. Right, we're going to go M6 to kick things off on this hole. Guys, I can't wait to get in the simulator room and just see what the big differences are. So M6 is the logoed ball. And I think this is going to very much come down to how well you do hit these clubs. I think a well-struck M6 is going to be an average struck Stealth all day long. Right. I love this hole for a driver. Down the right. Oh, we said we're going to fade them, didn't we? How good is that? I forget how good this was. I gamed the M5 at the time, and that's as good as anything. It's took quite a soft bounce. It is getting into winter now. Let's try and play the same shot with the Stealth. Again, I think the M6 looks so much better than the Stealth, guys. I love the contrast other than that all black crown and red face. The red face still a little bit of a talking point. Same shot. Leaking a bit, it's trying to come back. This is going to be interesting. Is a well-struck M6 going to outdo a Stealth with a pretty average strike? Stay tuned. So the TaylorMade Stealth here in the fairway, it wasn't the best strike. It was a little bit toey and went a little bit high. Twist face didn't really help us there, and the M6 all the way up there. Yes, it's a little bit in the rough, but for me, I'm going to take that all day. The M6 has absolutely bossed this hole. That is 1-all. Is that out in cricket as well? I'm not sure what that is. But we're going to get to the next hole. That is where I'm going to hit this fade, hopefully. Which driver's more forgiving? Which one's going to go further? And which one would go in your bag for the price? Let me know in the comments, guys. I can't wait to get in that studio and see how far they go. So for that huge difference in price, obviously the M6 would be second hand, but what are the big talking points? What are the big differences, apart from the head cover being difficult to get off, in technology. Yes, we have that 60 times red carbon face, whereas the M6 has the standard titanium face, twist face, and we also have the injected speed foam, which are these two little screws here. So for me, looking at them, the Stealth has actually kept that shape in motion. You see that inertia generator at the back, that's almost like a bit of a big nose. It does have a weight in the back to help you with that greater MOI and more forgiveness. They both have the through slot speed pocket, speed injected twist face, that's what it is, speed injected twist face. Both have the through slot speed pocket. The Stealth actually has it covered up a little bit, whereas the M6 has that big gaping hole. Both adjustable, same lofts, same adapters. You can put the same shafts in them. Which one should we go with first? Stealth. We will go Stealth first. Is the Stealth ball actually on this tee? I hate this driving hole. This is a horrible driving hole. I will guarantee I'm probably going to lose a golf ball, if not them both. But we're going to aim up the left side and try and fade it back, try and hit the fairway. And that's gone dead straight. Absolutely dead straight. I think we'll find it though. Luckily it's been quite a dry winter, so that pond, I think the dry winter saved me a fortune in golf balls. Usually obviously not finding it in there, I've been finding them quite regularly. And rather interestingly, top tour players were using the M6 at its time of release. So Dustin Johnson was using one, Jason Day was using one rather than the M5 because it was a little bit more forgiving. Is this going to be the case for me here? That was obviously a bad golf swing with the Stealth, but if you're spending the money on it, you have to own up that you're going to hit some bad golf swings. And is it going to be worth the money? This looks so good down at the ball. And that's come back wonderfully well. Really well. I almost feel more at ease with this one because of its price and because it's a little bit used and a little bit loved. The Stealth is actually brand new. For me, I wonder if maybe you are better off spending a little bit less on your clubs, a little bit more on your lessons and a little bit more on your green fees so you have more memories and you can go and play more golf. The top companies may disagree with me, but that's my opinion. We've got one hole left. The M6 has definitely won there because the Stealth probably lost. Then we'll jump in the studio, we're going to see what the differences are in ball speed, spin rate and distance. That's probably where most of you are going to make your decisions up, because if there's a massive difference, you might spend the money. If there's a tiny difference, you might not. We've got it. I mean, you won't want to play it, but we've got it. And the M6 has actually faded over into the right-hand rough, distance-wise exactly the same. So realistically, we've got to give that the M6 because the Stealth had no right being found. Next hole. So far, it is 1-0 to the cheaper second-hand TaylorMade M6. But what I am doing, guys, I'm taking accountability for my golf swings and for my own game. I very much think these two going head-to-head, if you put good swings on them, there isn't going to be a huge difference. There's going to be a big difference in sound and feel. For me, the Stealth sounds a lot more quieter, a bit more thuddier, whereas the M6 sounds tinnier. You're going to expect that with a metal face as opposed to a carbon face. Let's go M6 first this time. I guarantee you're going to hit two fantastic tee shots off here. Sort of. That's the logo ball, isn't it, the M6? So we'll go this side of the tee, and we're basically going to see just how far we can hit it. We're going to try it as far as physically possible. Not too bad up that right-hand side. That felt good as well. Again, it's in the rough. We're not hitting many fairways this morning with either of these, but I quite like that as a test. I like to test drives when you're not quite swinging at 100%, because how often do we do that as golfers? Right, I think the door's ajar there to get one out there. Need to get that mud off the ball though, because otherwise that's going to go left. This is going to be incredibly interesting because they were both just a little bit toey. The Stealth has come back and it's in the fairway. That might give it more roll. That might even give it the win on this hole. But let's jump in the studio. Let's see which one goes furthest. Guys, I'm going to hit so many shots. My back is going to be in pieces by the end of it. I'm doing it so you don't have to. As you can imagine, I spent quite a long time in the simulator room at Woolley Park Golf Club, and for me, I quite enjoy this exercise. I quite enjoy just hitting drivers pretty much as hard as I can whilst trying to keep them on a narrow fairway. You can see a couple of the shots have gone left. Then I got the M6 out and I started kind of moving in between Stealth and M6. Even the bad shot here with the M6, just
actually did really, really well. I couldn't believe how well the bad shots were doing with that. For me, I was really struggling to see a huge difference apart from in sound and feel, and that was reflected in the numbers. So I actually got more ball speed with the M6, although it was launching a little bit lower and with more spin. So it did lack on distance just by 3 yards. For me, those numbers are pretty identical apart from the backspin number. I'm not going to call it out for 3 yards difference in carry and 1 yard difference in total. I definitely do see a lower spin with the Stealth with that carbon face. That suits some people, it doesn't suit others. Let's see where those balls are finished on the final hole.
So guys, as you can see there with the numbers, very little separating them, which makes you think if you are in the market for a driver, if you want to save yourself a load of money, should you go on eBay and buy a second-hand one? I think it's hard to really disagree with that. You look at these results for the final tee shot as well, TaylorMade Stealth in the fairway. It was a good shot, it was a little bit toey, it kind of hooked back in. The M6, again a little bit toey, stayed out to the right in the rough. You can't split them, there's literally 2 yards in that difference. So for me, I think, yeah, just good club for the money. See you tomorrow. Subscribe.